Today we're going to review similes, metaphors, and personification. So we'll start with similes. Similes is a comparison of two things that have something in common that are really different. The words like or as are in similes. Examples: the baby was as happy as a lark. A baby is being compared to a lark, which is a bird. She is like a ray of sunshine to my tired eyes. She is going to be compared to sunshine. Choose a word from the box to compare to complete each comparison. Number 1, as stubborn as a mule. 2, as strong as an ox. Number 3, swims like a fish. As sharp as a tack. As thin as a rail. As mad as a hornet. Climbs like a monkey. As green as grass. Here's some common similes. As slippery as an eel. As smart as a whip. As sly as a fox. As still as a statue. As quick as lightning. As slow as a turtle. Busy as a bee. As cold as ice. As flat as a pancake. Stubborn as a mule. Hungry as a bear. Hard as a rock. Next, we'll take a look at metaphors. A metaphor makes a direct comparison between two unlike things. A noun must be used in the comparison. The word like and as are not used. So we just have to remember it's like a simile, but without like or as. Examples: correct. The exuberant puppy was a bundle of energy. Incorrect. The dog is happy. Happy is an adjective. Directions: circle the two objects being compared. The old truck was a heap of rusty metal. So in this case, truck is being compared to metal. Number 2, the moon was a silver dollar in the sky. Here we're comparing the moon to a silver dollar. Number 3, their vacation was a nightmare. Vacation, nightmare. That wasp is a flying menace. In this case, wasp is being compared to a menace, who is a troublemaker. Next, the prairie was a carpet of green. It's comparing prairie with a carpet. Next, the flowers were jewels on stems. Flowers are being compared with jewels. Let's go back and take a look at some of the words that were being used in between. In this case, the old truck was a heap. The moon was a silver. So I guess was might be a clue word. Number 4, the wasp is a flying. There we have was, were again. In the winter, our pond is glass, so we're comparing winter and glass. The clouds were marshmallows, comparing clouds and marshmallows. So let's see if we can figure out the difference between a simile and a metaphor. So we'll read the sentences and guess if it's a simile. The baby was like an octopus, grabbing all the cans at the grocery store shelves. In this case, it's using the word like, so that's a simile. As the teacher entered the room, she muttered under her breath, "This class is like a 3-ring circus." Like is a simile. The giant's steps were thunder as he ran towards Jack. There's that clue word were. And so we're comparing the giant steps to thunder. Comparing two things, it's a metaphor. The pillow was a cloud when I put my head upon it after a long day. So here we're comparing a pillow and a cloud. And the key word was a, not using like or as, so that's a metaphor. Number 5, the motion sickness hit the sailor as fast as lightning. Here we have as fast as lightning. We know that a simile uses like or as, so that is a simile. Number 6, those girls are like 2 peas in a pod. We have like, so that's a simile. Number 7, the light was the sun during the science experiment. We have light and sun being compared with the word was. That's a metaphor. Next, we're going to move on to personification. Pronouns personification. It is when a writer makes a non-human object or idea seem like a person. How many times is personification used in this poem? I know that clouds aren't people, but they're looking glum today. So I say that they are pouting as I watch the sky turn gray. Now the sky is not a person, but I feel its raindrop tears. So I say that it is crying, and then the sun appears. The sun is not a person, but its warmth spreads like a grin. So I say the sun is smiling, and the sky cheers up again. So taking a look at this first stanza, we're going to take a look at this. I know the clouds aren't people, but they're looking glum today. It's saying that the clouds are glum. Usually people look glum. So I say they are pouting as I watch the sky turn gray. Now here, we're taking a look at clouds being glum and pouting. Now, usually, clouds don't pout and clouds aren't humans, but we're giving them human-like characteristics. Second stanza. Now the sky is not a person, but I feel its raindrop tears. Oh, looks like the sky is crying. So I say that it is crying, and then the sun appears. So we're saying that the sky is crying like a human with raindrop tears. The sun is not a person, but I feel its warmth spread like a grin. So we're saying that the sun is smiling with a grin. So I say the sun is smiling and the sky cheers up again. Personification. Tell which object is given human qualities, then tell what the sentence means. I could hear the wind whistling through the trees. Which object is given human-like qualities? So in this case, the wind is whistling. And what does that sentence mean? It means that the wind is making noises. Number 2, the old car died on the side of the road. What object is given human qualities? And so in this case, the car is like a human and it died. That means that the car quit. Number 3, bright flashes of lightning were dancing in the sky. What object is being compared to human? In this case, it's lightning. And that means that the lightning was flashing across the sky. Now, we're going to practice determining if the sentence or phrase is a simile, we'll write S, a metaphor, we'll write M, and then personification, we'll write P. Let's take a look for some clues. Number 1, he is like a rocket on his bike. Because it uses like, that's a simile. Number 2, the fire roared to life. Roared is something that a human would do. We're an animal, and so it's saying that the fire roared. That is personification. Next, the leaves fell like rain. You have that word like, and so that's a simile. The glasses danced on the shelf during the earthquake. Well, we know that humans dance, but in this case, the author's using glasses dancing. So that's personification, like a person would do. The clock is the keeper of time. Saying the clock is a keeper. So that is a metaphor, direct comparison. The water called invitingly to the hot children. Now, called is usually what a human does, saying something. So in this case, water is calling, like talking, so it's personification. The rusty door hinge screamed every time the door opened. So that means that the door made a screaming noise. Screamed is something that a human does, not usually a door hinge, and so this is personification. The wind was like a piercing arrow. We have the word like, and so that's a simile. The stage was the canvas upon which the play was painted. Stage is being compared to canvas, what you paint on. In this case, it's using the word was, doing a direct comparison for a metaphor. The train screamed down the tracks. Because it screamed, that's what a person would usually do, so personification. Music is the salve that soothes us. Salve is like medicine. So that's saying that music is medicine, making a direct comparison of metaphor. The swing rocked like a baby learning to walk. We have that word like, so it's a simile. Now that we practice some of these together, I would like you to take the Google quiz to determine if it is a simile, metaphor, or personification.